moment. There's a lot going on in the sky. We're also talking about the upcoming solar eclipse. And if y'all feel like you've been, I don't know, underwater, having a perpetual migraine headache, channeling things from your ancestors, you're about at the right speed. How are you doing, Scarlett?
Got the migraine.
Yeah.
Um, been having the crazy dreams and the
Yep.
funky sleep pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling big shifts in the life. Um, but I am always feeling that way, so I guess, yeah, it's coming in. I can feel it. And
It's
I
coming in
did,
hot.
it's coming in hot, and I'm glad that we're doing this because I made a minor calculation error in our last
Mm,
episode that I wanted to clarify.
mm.
So this upcoming solar eclipse today, by the way, we record every day, not every day, that
No,
would be,
I wish. That'd
wow,
be fun.
that, if someone would like to sponsor us, we could do it every day. Just
Hmm.
saying, yeah. But we record once a week, every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m.
Yep.
London. And we live stream in case you'd like to have the very first look at podcast in the making. And last week on Tuesday, we were talking about the total, not the full moon, total lunar eclipse that had just occurred, and we were foreshadowing the upcoming solar eclipse. And I made a slight error. The shadow of the eclipse caused by Ketu is coming from Leo, but the sun and the moon will have actually just crossed over into Virgo. This is why it's a partial eclipse and not a total eclipse, because there's a little
That's
bit
right.
of space between the new moon and the eclipse node. So
Mm.
it won't fully obscure the sun, but the sun and the moon will, and Mercury will have all transited into Virgo by Sunday. And we're going to talk, there's four major transits that have occurred in this eclipse time period, which is a lot of change in addition to the changeable nature of the eclipse itself. So we're going to speak to all of that a little bit today, and I just wanted to be clear. I hate when I make calculation errors um, on a live recording. But like I said last time, I don't come with notes. That would be distracting from my just oration. Oh, who's
From your
calling
flow.
today? From my flow. I'm just
That's
stream of
right.
consciousness. Yeah, what are the two roles in baseball? Color
Oh,
and,
the color, as in adding flavor and color, color or flavor, and the play by play.
ooh, okay. So am I play by play today again? I feel like
Uh,
I might be,
you
but
could
I
you can
might
play
not
by
be.
play and I could color. We can, and I mean there are those announcers that do some of each and then they switch off midway
Ooh,
through.
okay. Okay.
Um, the Giants do still have a chance at the wild card. It's very slim, but never say never, never say die. Um, So that's happening. And it's also like, this makes me think about Ancestral Fortnight, which we're in the middle of, because my grandmother was such a huge Giants fan.
Was
So
she?
shout out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I do,
Oh,
this
for
is
sure.
just unrelated to anything, but something that makes me really happy living in London is the frequency at which I see Bay Area sports teams represented by people who clearly have no idea where the Bay Area is. But
Right?
it's
We saw
so,
that when I was just in Lisbon and in Porto in Portugal. Like the number of Giants, no, not Giants, Dodgers hats that I
mhm,
saw, and New York Yankees hats that I
mhm.
saw was a little
Yeah.
confounding.
Oh, see, over here, I mean, it makes me so happy as an Oakland native because you see a lot of Raiders, a lot of Oakland A's. Not that those teams are ours anymore, but
Right?
a lot of Raiders, a lot of A's, and sometimes SF Giants as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. It's kind of cute that that's become an international style icon.
Right?
Anyway, there's another thing we want to fit into today's episode, which is I hope, I didn't actually read the news all the way, I hope peaceful passing of actor Robert Redford.
Yeah.
And eclipses bring endings. And I did take a look at his chart when I saw the
Mm.
news, and it's very symbolic that he has passed away in between these two
Mm.
eclipses. because of the way that these transits overlay with his natal chart. So we can get into a little bit of detail on that.
Let's talk about what these big transits are. Venus is moving into Leo.
Already done.
And already done.
Already done. Venus is at 8, no, sorry, I'm looking at the chart for the eclipse, but Venus is in the earliest degrees of Leo, possibly
I have 2 degrees.
Yeah, so just getting through the Gandanta between Cancer and Leo, between Ashlesha and Magha.
And Magha, which is this Gandanta is, just to back up, is a spiritual knot. It happens where water meets fire at 3 junctures through the zodiac. So Venus moving into Leo, let's start there. This is like sequins and stilettos. It's big love, loud self-expression, show-stopping style. It's a little drag queen vibe, I feel like.
Okay, big hair. For sure. Yeah. Possibly wigs. Venus is not super happy in Leo. So Leo is the very middle of what we call Venus's like starvation period in the sky. So Venus has 3 houses, signs or rashis in the zodiac that she doesn't really like to be in, and they're all in a row. So she has to spend months getting through this kind of dark zone, and it always happens around summertime into the fall. So she wasn't thrilled to be in Cancer, she's not thrilled to be in Leo, and she will be even less thrilled to be in Virgo. So we're kind of in the middle of that. That can make the heart feel a little bit heavy. And it can possibly give you a bad hair day, things like that, right? Like what came through with the and we're kind of getting right into our pop culture here, but
I know, because I got to pick.
Venus and Leo could be like a tangled wig, like you know what I mean, or like a bad hair day, kind of big but a little bit messy, or it's like your hair right before it's like dried out from being processed too much, like heat damaged, but also flashy and fun.
I was thinking about Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, for Venus moves into Leo, because it's in the middle of the desert and there's these fabulous drag queens in the middle of the desert.
All right. But what's interesting about the fact that Venus has transited into Leo is that at exactly the same time, Mars transited into Libra, into Venus's house. So they were both at 0 degrees entering a new sign on the same day a few days ago.
Yes.
Mars in Libra is also not thrilled. Venus and Mars are not best friends. They're kind of on opposite teams, so to speak. So neither planet is in a place where it really has the most strength or dignity. But they've both made that transition at the same time.
And Mars in Libra wants to go to couples counseling.
Totally. Let's work out these problems right now. Mars in Libra could also cause a breakup.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
I've had enough of this. It's done. Like the final fight or fallout between romantic partners or other.
Yeah. I mean, with this, I hate to say this, but with this eclipse, with Venus moving into Leo, with Mars moving into Libra, this is a good breakup time.
It's a good breakup time. It's the end of times, and I've been, it's
the end of times. That's a big breakup.
That's a big breakup. It's sorry, I should have said it's a time for endings. End of times. Hey, but you know what? A big breakup can feel like the end of times. It can feel like the rug has really been pulled out from under you, and I know from speaking to people in the last week or so that some people are definitely experiencing this.
Yes.
But in the wise words of many, many wise people, but the voice I'm hearing in my head is George Clinton's head. Oh, there's your cat. Um,
He's just crawling all over me during this transmission.
that's because we're getting ready for a K2 eclipse.
Yes.
Um, I often hear George Clinton's voice speaking in my
Mm.
head. And in the wise words of Mr. Clinton, he does say in one of my favorite songs, "Every ending is a new beginning." This is sage advice, age old from around the world. Everyone agrees that you can't start if you don't end. Like
That's right.
one door closes, another door opens. It's such a trite kind of age old adage. It feels silly to even say it, but you guys, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And
Yeah.
eclipses are where we end the things that are in the way of what is about to emerge.
Mhm.
And relationships, matters of the heart are particularly sensitive.
Mhm.
And Mars puts the energy of fire and fight
Mhm.
and combat
Mhm.
and even a sense of urgency into the natural seventh house of relationships
Yes.
and into Venus's heart space. And so it will feel that way. It will
Mhm.
feel that way. But you know what? It doesn't last forever.
Mhm.
I've
And
been,
this could also be like fighting with for balance or for
Mhm.
diplomacy or for aesthetics with Mars in Libra. It doesn't have to be breakup time.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is like, it could also be like speed dating,
Oh
you know?
yeah. Oh,
Like,
totally.
but, let's get done with this eclipse. Give it you guys just wait a few more days. Like, a number of times I've had readings in the last 2 weeks and just said to people, it's so just wait until after the 21st of September, please, because you're going to feel different
Yeah.
on the other side of this
Yeah.
kind of shadow period. And Mars is going to be in Libra for some time. And yeah, it can feel like, hey, I just broke up with someone. I'm back on the streets. I'm going on a bunch of dates.
Rumspringa.
What's that?
Rumspringa. Rumspringa. Do you know what Rumspringa is?
Mm-mm.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah, is this a
Okay.
myth?
No, well, it's not, but so Rumspringa is the institutionalized. Okay, so in Amish culture, when Amish kids reach the age of 18, it's considered that you can't join the Amish religion and lifestyle without having an experience of the English, that's our outside world. And so when Amish kids reach 18, they get a year to go out and live among the
Oh,
heathens. And it's called Rumspringer, and they go nuts. Like they like, and there's a documentary about it. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. It's called The Devil's Playground, and it's all about Amish kids on Rumspringer, like having sex, doing drugs, like just going crazy. And what's super interesting is that like 95% of Amish kids after their year-long Rumspringer decide to go back and be part of the Amish culture and have an arranged marriage or an Amish marriage and like live in that lifestyle. They're like, "Okay, that was great. Now I'm going back."
relatable. I
So Mars in Libra could make you want to go on Rumspringa.
Rumspringa, that's right. Rumspringa to me sounds like some sort of like rum the alcohol infused Jamaican party.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean that's kind of what it
kind of
is,
what it
right?
is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Like,
That's
yeah.
what it is, a coming of age event.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's that pretty much sums it up. Do we want to do a quick little fashion pick for
Um,
Mars in Libra, or
yeah, well,
yeah.
we talked about fashion for Venus moving into Leo, but Mars in Libra fashion, what does it feel like?
So Mars is hot colors like reds and
Yeah.
oranges, hot pink. And Libra also has kind of a pinkness. I think it's like magenta is the color for Mars and Libra, like a magenta mini
Hmm.
dress.
Hmm.
Actually, I hadn't thought about it. I went to a party over the weekend and I wore um, like maroon tights and high-heeled maroon boots with
Yes, you did.
a bright orange mini dress. So I think that that's pretty much. Hadn't looked at the charts or anything, but that's kind of um, the color scheme and energy. But yeah, I would elect magenta. Um,
Hmm.
and you know, Libra's very flirty. This is like somebody getting dressed up to go on a hot date energy.
Yeah. I
Hot first date.
also, it could be like power couple dressing, like matching outfits that are really
Yeah.
like sleekly tailored and like power
Yes.
suits.
On my way to the party on Saturday, I
Mm,
sat next to a couple on the tube,
mm,
and I think they were Brazilian, and
mm.
they were wearing matching forest green suits. Um,
Mm.
like, so they both had green blazers on,
Yes.
and like her shoes matched his jacket,
Yes.
and like pretty much exactly and like all tailored, like kind of like business casual, but late on a Saturday night. Like I was like, where are they going? This is amazing. Can I come to your party? I wish I had a man with me who was wearing also a bright orange mini dress. I mean, okay, so let's keep going with these transits. So,
Okay.
and I just want to keep reiterating this. We're in the middle of, right in between two eclipses. We just discussed two of four major transits, and this is a lot of change. Again, this could feel really disorienting. So we've got Venus is now in Leo, Mars is now in Libra. The Sun and Mercury are making their way into Virgo and will both be placed there at the time of the new moon, which will cause the solar eclipse. Um, Mercury gets exalted in Virgo. I say
Yes.
that again. Mercury loves to be in Virgo, and Mercury is the only planet that experiences exaltation in its own sign. So Virgo is
Exactly.
ruled by Mercury, and Mercury goes there to get its most powerful energy. And so, with Mercury exalted and Venus essentially in starvation
Mm,
nearby,
mm.
both they're kind of hemming in this eclipse in a sense. So Venus is on one side of the eclipse shadow, the sun and the moon will be in it for the partial solar
Yes.
eclipse, and Mercury is kind of hemming it in on the other. This is
Yeah.
like the planet of the heart and of beauty and all of those things is in an uncomfortable position and heading into a state of becoming even more uncomfortable,
Yeah.
while the planet of intellect, so it's like the planet of love and heart and feelings is
Yep.
unhappy. The planet of intellect
Elect.
and communication and analysis is in exaltation. So it's like mind over heart
Uh,
is kind of dominating the energy of this
mm.
eclipse, which it's like you're not really thinking clearly when there's a shadow over your mind and soul. But Mercury is also very intellectual and very clear. So there could be this. I haven't actually, like I said, I never come with notes. I haven't really thought this through. I just looked at the chart
Mm.
as we were coming into this moment. Oh, and the other thing that is happening,
Yeah.
well, first of all, we should mention Sun also changing signs. So Sun coming into Virgo, Mercury
Mhm,
coming into Virgo,
mhm, mhm.
aspected directly by Saturn retrograde in Pisces.
Ugh.
This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over to especially anyone who's been doing readings with me in the last week or two, if you're listening.
Mm. Yeah.
It's a really, it would be weird if you felt normal right now. Because it's like a lot of big changes.
Mm.
Um, Saturn aspecting anything is going to make it difficult.
Hmm.
Saturn aspecting uh,
The sun, with whom Saturn is not friendly.
at all.
Mm.
Saturn is not very friendly to the moon either. Saturn is okay with Mercury. They're friendly, but Saturn retrograde is not messing around. This is
No.
another layer of the same theme of kind of if eclipses are cutting things out, Saturn retrograde is kind of giving you like a last pass at a spiritual level due to it being in Pisces,
Pisces.
like kind of a last pass of karma. A lot of people like the zeitgeist reporting on
Mm,
this. And you
mm,
know, when we say zeitgeist, that includes many different lineages and
mm,
traditions and readings of the sky and other mediums.
mm.
Um, but this is very much a sense of like finality.
Yes.
Like if there's a karmic pattern, this
Mm,
is the moment when you really get to the end of that cycle.
mhm.
Um, and that makes me want to talk about Robert Redford.
Yeah.
Should we go to that and then maybe come back and let's go to that and come back and talk a little bit more about this eclipse, which will also give
Mhm.
us context for talking about Mercury and Sun in Virgo. We can think about fashion. Virgo's like the librarian of the zodiac.
Yes.
So Mercury in Virgo is like very put together,
Very
what
organized.
like
You may feel an urge to deep clean or organize with this eclipse.
hmm like if you haven't started getting rid of physical things with
Yeah.
with the lunar eclipse, don't
Yeah.
wait. This is definitely a purging time, and then after
Mhm.
the purge comes the reorganization.
Yeah.
Virgo is like a filing cabinet.
Yes. Mm.
That's a really good way of thinking about
Mhm.
that sign. So
Mhm.
fashion also can feel, you know, what's coming to mind is like kind of almost like Scandinavian, uh, like modular fashion, where it's like
IKEA.
yeah, like yeah, not even that. I'm just thinking about like from a clothing perspective, it's like practicality over beauty, but
Mm.
it fits well and it works well. It's like
Mhm.
function over form, kind of,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it also it fits well. It's not unflattering or anything like that, but it's just not meant to be flashy. It's meant to be practical.
Mm.
Like things that layer together. My
Mhm.
friend who lived in Scandinavia for a long time, he was like, they dress like Legos. And I was like, what? But I kind of understand that. It's like, oh, all these pieces fit together and they can be
Mhm.
taken apart. Like that's a
Mhm.
very Virgo, Mercury and Virgo type of energy.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but let's come back and save that eclipse, uh, the solar eclipse for a second. Just thinking about Robert Redford, one of my favorite actors, to be honest. And
Yes, mine also. And I know that we both share love for like The Sting and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And I kind of feel like we should use those as our movie picks somehow. I was trying to think
I
like
know, how can we do
how
it?
can we make
Well,
those our movie
well,
picks?
actually,
Yeah.
uh, an eclipse with an exalted Mercury nearby does kind of work for the Sting. Those who haven't seen it, it's about
Yeah.
a big kind of successful grifter, like a heist. And
Yeah.
it requires a lot of strategy and a lot of intelligence and some shady behavior, right? So that is
Yeah.
kind of an accurate pick. Also great
Hmm.
fashion. Also
Mm.
great fashion in that movie.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and disguises
Mm.
are also worn by the
Right.
participants in that movie.
Eclipse
Yeah.
energy. And so Robert Redford had Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus all in Leo.
That's correct. So it feels a little weird to read a stranger's chart live,
Mm,
especially right at the time of their passing.
mm,
But this is, let's think of this more like a way of honoring
mm.
him as opposed to analyzing him.
Okay.
But
I like that.
let's just say that this person chose to pass on at a very auspicious moment, both for the
Mhm,
collective in the middle of eclipse season and
mhm,
at a time when the eclipse axis was directly he's a Aquarius rising in this system, and
mhm,
so Rahu, who caused the lunar eclipse, the full moon total lunar eclipse that happened about nine
mhm.
days ago, is transiting his first house of self and
Yeah.
body, where he
Yeah.
also has a Saturn placement, which can be very hard on the physical health.
Yep.
And when Rahu and Saturn meet, it's it's oft I can actually think of other examples of passings, significant
Mhm,
passings that
mhm,
occurred with those conjunctions in the sky.
mhm.
And then this upcoming partial solar eclipse with the shadow of K2 coming from Leo, he
Yeah.
has four, and if you count the outer planets, five Leo placements there in his
Yeah.
seventh house. And it's actually the seventh house lord
Mhm.
who we look at when we look at end of life
Death.
and
Yeah.
death. And so, you know, kudos to the man for choosing a real, I mean, he lived a long and wonderful life. He was born in the 1930s. It's, you know, it's
Yeah.
a long, wonderful, healthy, successful
Mhm,
life and career.
mhm.
But also just amazing to see a chart in that context.
Yes.
And this is an example of like lights out energy for a person who's
Yeah.
very connected to this particular eclipse pattern.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, rest in peace to a beautiful
Mhm.
human. And you
Mm.
know, just on a lighter note, of course, this person has four planets in Leo.
In Leo, of course.
Of course he does. I mean, look at his hair and
Yes.
his
Eyes.
his eyes and his success over
Mhm.
decades through generations
Mm.
on the silver screen. I mean,
Mhm.
like even his there's something even about like his facial expressions and the way that
Yes.
he moves his head
Yep.
that
Mhm.
are very indicative of Leo energy. Um,
Mhm.
so again, just kind of honoring this person. I don't even really see this necessarily as like a big loss in the sense that
No.
he was elderly and it wasn't like
Yeah. No,
snatched
it's very
away.
beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
actually a very beautiful, peaceful passing because
Mhm.
eclipses are kind of a portal, and this is
Mhm.
a fortnight of the ancestors.
Yeah.
And to pass away during Pitru Paksha, is it Pitru Paksha? Am I saying that
Yes,
right?
Pitu Paksha.
Pitru
Yeah.
Paksha is like a returning home to your lineage
Ancestral ground.
and
Exactly
ancestral
right.
ground. So
Yeah.
actually, he kind of nailed it. Like he did that's kind of like a perfect closing out from this realm to the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, going back to what we were saying, an eclipse can kind of make you feel like if you're not physically dying, it can make you feel like things in your life are dying off, never
Mhm.
to return. And
Yeah.
it could be big things like the pile, you know, the big things like a whole relationship. It could be little things like the dust in the corners of your room that you finally sweep out. Um,
So let's
yeah,
talk a bit about this eclipse.
yeah.
And so this eclipse happens in Uttara Falguni. We have three sets throughout the zodiac of Purva and Uttara. These are early and latter. And this happens at a place that is the early and latter fruit. And so this is the latter fruit, which, if we think about a relationship, we have the early fruit, which is like lying in a hammock and eating strawberries because you're so enamored and in love. And then we have the latter fruit, Uttara Falguni, which is all the contractual stuff. Who pays for what? Which direction does the toilet paper roll go? Do you put
Mm-hmm.
down the toilet seat? These types
Mm-hmm.
of contractual negotiations. Who does what? Who's responsible for what parts of the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And so the
And
naksha,
yeah,
yeah,
I was to say, and some of those themes might be coming up as we were saying, if you are experiencing the end of a relationship at this time, I wouldn't be
absolutely.
surprised in any way to hear that it's those details that come to the surface that are
Mhm.
part of that termination conversation.
Yes.
People
Um,
could even be like tapping into prenups right now. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, sorry, go
And
ahead.
so this is the symbol here is specifically the back legs of the marriage bed. And this eclipse is all about contracts and vows and commitments, also service within partnership. And the deity ruler, we should always look to the deity ruler as well as the animal and the planetary ruler. The deity is Aryaman. And this is an Aditya associated with contracts and agreements and unions. and, dharmic bonds between beings. And this is where Purva Falguni, the early fruit, comes before, is the deity ruler is Bhaga, and that's all about Bhaga is pleasure and delight. And here, Uttara Falguni are the responsibilities that come after pleasure. This is like after the honeymoon is over. So with the eclipse, this is a reset of karmic contracts, of partnerships, of marriage, of business deals. What bonds are real and which ones are illusory. And so, Bhaga can't really, Uttara Falguni can't really see clearly because of all the endorphins that are moving and running through the body. Aryaman represents clarity and also sacredness of commitments. And so with the eclipse, it's like the light goes out around our commitments and we are looking at, are they sustainable? Are we bound by habit or by dharma? And so it's a karmic audit in many ways.
Oh, and Mercury in Virgo is a really good auditor.
Yes.
So we have like a professional auditor gazing upon this cosmic event. I also want to point something out about Uttara Falguni. So we've talked about Purva Falguni, all four padas or parts are inside of Leo. And then when we get to Uttara Falguni, it's a nakshatra actually ruled by the sun that starts in the sun's house in Leo and then crosses over into Virgo. So it's one of all of the nakshatras that are ruled by masculine planets are the ones that cross the lines of the rashis, just as a side note. But to have the sun in a nakshatra that spans from sun's house to Mercury's house, ruled by the sun itself, is a lot of solar energy. This is very kind of external energy, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's like if we've talked about eclipses kind of being like a lights on and off moment, and this is like spotlight also, like someone or flashlight, like a light that kind of hones in on something. It's like if you're on the stage and the lights are on you, it's like dark around the rest. It's kind of feels a little bit like that with this very professional auditor energy. And because eclipses are more like indicators of endings than beginnings, this is more likely to be the termination of a contract as opposed to the inception of one. But every ending is a new beginning.
Right.
So if you are in a position to be getting or starting a new job or job offer or new contract or whatever it is, there's probably something that needs to be turned off, analyzed, audited, and then terminated with all of the kind of I's dotted, T's crossed type of thing before you enter into the next bigger, probably bigger, better opportunity that comes afterward. And Saturn is just there watching the whole thing from Pisces. This is a really interesting eclipse.
Offering the drishti across the way, just like, hey, what y'all doing?
And we were talking, just in case people are interested in the kind of the functional side of this system, we were talking last week about the 180-degree axis. So Rahu Ketu are always exactly 180 degrees away, and they are, the severed halves of a single entity. So of course they always line up with each other. It's like the head and tail of a snake that just happens to be cut. But when we are talking about a direct, and there's a lot of different kinds of aspects that we can encounter in the charts, but when Saturn is in Pisces, it is 180 degrees-ish away. But in this case, I'm just looking at the chart. In this case, the eclipse is occurring at 4 degrees in Virgo, and Saturn will be sitting at 4 degrees in Pisces. So it is literally 180-degree direct gaze. That's like Saturn
just staring
right at it, just right into the eyes of this moment. This is
Awkwardly just
Awkwardly
staring
staring
across the room.
from a
Mm,
distance. And Saturn is a very far away energy, so it's like
hmm
being watched by the person who's like all the way across the room in the
mm.
corner, subtle, discreet,
Sitting in the corner, just staring at
just
you.
dressed in black, like stroking a
So
shell.
creepy.
It's super creepy. It's like the witch in the corner, just kind of keeping a
Hmm
karmic watch on whatever it is
Mm.
that you decide to do. So please do not sign any contracts this coming weekend.
Oh,
Like,
thank you. Yeah.
please do not do that. You can assess and close out contracts, or you can
Mm.
begin to read the small print of an
Hmm
opportunity, but do not, excuse me, but fucking do not get married right now.
Right. No, it's
This is
not
not,
good
not
marriage
yet.
time.
No, this is not marriage energy. Uttara Falguni can make us feel like it is time to get married.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
think about it, but just don't sign that paperwork in this energy. This would be the time
No.
to really think about, is this the right long-term, lifelong commitment under God to be making, but don't make it just quite yet. Um, Rather, it would be the time to clean up anything that would be in the way of a happy relationship.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Because I mean, Mars really wants to go to couples counseling and work
mhm.
it out. Yeah.
And Mars is also out there kind of speed dating right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So, let's shall we myth? We fashioned. Oh, we didn't do much music.
oh, okay.
Did we do any music?
Well, we
Oh,
just talked
oh,
about.
I've got a music pick.
Okay, okay, you go.
Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by the Eurythmics.
Really? You know
Yeah.
what's so weird? Somebody, I'm not even kidding, not 2 hours ago, I was having lunch. I'm in the office
Uh-huh.
today,
Yeah.
and two people, Generation X aged people, were talking about how they had family computers in the 80s that played a Eurythmics song. You could like
Of course they did.
type in a code and it would play that song. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're right.
I think I just channeled that from you. But then also like Nothing Even Matters by Lauryn Hill on Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, followed by Everything is Everything,
Okay, great picks. Excellent pick.
especially with like endings and beginnings.
Yeah, I was gonna say with all of this transit energy, this is a
Mm,
little bit kind of nerdy, esoteric
mm.
comment, but music that has a lot of key changes in it.
Oh yeah. And or
Like,
time signature changes.
yeah, both, I would say.
Yeah, especially
Like,
I think feel like Mercury and Virgo would like time signature changes.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Polyrhythmic.
exactly. Polyrhythmic time signatures. It's very like contemporary, not not traditional at all jazz, but like contemporary jazz fusion
Free
energy.
jazz. Oh.
Free ooh. Free jazz, which is kind of relevant in the sense where it's like you don't really listen to free jazz when you're trying to
Casually.
yeah, it's not casual energy. It's not dentist office music. Although that would be nuts. Imagine dental work. It's not elevator music. That's for sure.
So, shall we myth?
Myth it up and then we'll close it out.
So, Aryaman is one of the 12 Adityas. The Adityas are these 12 solar deities, and one rules over each sign of the zodiac. They are from the Rig Veda. We find these deities. And Aryaman is the god of noble contact and hospitality and marriage vows. The name comes from the word root Arya, which means noble or friend. And Aryaman resides over relationship and kinship ties and vows. That's the other thing that you might find. We focused a lot on romantic relationship, but you could find kinship relations strained or obscured by this eclipse also. And so there's this tale in the Rig Veda, this myth in the Rig Veda that long ago, far, far away, in the age when kings ruled by a sacred fire, and every pack was forged under the watch of the gods. And, people would pour ghee into the flames and swear loyalty to the sun. And long ago, these kings came together and called upon Aryaman to be their witness and to be this bond or this forge between nation states, in essence, like kings coming together. But some of the kings were false, and they spoke these oaths into the fire, and then they turned their spears against their allies and killed them. And so we could see also with this eclipse like oath breaking, betrayals, not just on a personal level, but on the global stage. And because they had called on Aryaman to be their witness, his wrath was extreme. It was like his punishment was devastating. It was the breaking of trust itself. And so crops withered in the fields and alliances collapsed because no treaty anywhere could hold. And even blindness and confusion and darkness came over the people because no one could see where loyalty lay. Nobody could see whose word could be trusted. I mean, you can imagine like if all trust were completely obliterated, we still work through societal contract, even if that contract is just like we don't run red lights all the time. Imagine if we had no trust, just like with driving, the chaos that would be.
It's like Oakland, California.
But even there's social contract.
Of course, but the red lights are optional at certain times.
Right.
And
Oh,
there's
surely.
a lot of potholes.
Yeah. But when oaths are broken, the fabric of all trust frays and life loses clarities. So it's our very agreements that can collapse under a shadow. So the question is like, where am I keeping my word, and where am I bound by contracts that may need to dissolve?
I like that. You know what came through really strong, slightly abstractly, but the four agreements
Oh yeah,
has come to the surface a number of times
sure,
recently.
sure.
I found it an audio book of it on my old
Mm-hmm.
hard drive. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it in a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
It popped up on Facebook. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't had an opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
read or listen to the Four Agreements by, is it Don
Mm-hmm.
Miguel Ruiz?
Mm-hmm.
I think is
Mm-hmm.
the author's name. And the recording of it is narrated by the actor Peter Coyote. I
Mm-hmm.
highly
Mm-hmm.
recommend checking that one out. But that's less about that. I think I don't want to distract from the point that you're making, which is the dissolution of contracts is more what you're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
This is more about commitments or agreements to
Mm-hmm.
four ways of
Mm-hmm.
being with
Mm-hmm.
yourself and in relationship, which is not
Mm-hmm.
dissimilar to the yama niyama that we've discussed.
Exactly.
Those are not contractually binding, but they are very highly recommended precepts. uh, but yeah, this is a very interesting time to be in the legal professions. For
Oof.
example,
Yeah,
very
for
interesting
sure.
time to be in the legal professions. Very interesting time to be in the counseling professions.
Mm-hmm.
Or like kind of mediation profession is
Yes.
more what I mean.
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, the global stage is doing all kinds of things. Um,
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.